a lot of times when they get a 5-second count or like something ridiculous happens and they didn't get it in bounds, it's because they had predetermined who they were supposed to be throwing it to. And in a lot of those situations, when you play with Kobe, you play with Shaq, you be like, those guys are like promised to kill you, essentially, if they don't get the ball in those situations. That's what they get paid to do. That's why they are the greatest of all time.
Talked about fight, grit, belief, and confidence. So the hope tonight is that all of you in the audience, you take something from Derek back around the fight, the grit, how to compete, and confidence. So I'm curious for you, your origin story. Where did you begin to develop those character traits? Because you took them to the highest level in your respective sport.
Honestly, man, back to Little Rock. I mean, you referenced Arkansas Little Rock and the Trojans, and my upbringing, family, coaches, like literally a village of people that always at least tried to help me understand that anything that I ever wanted to accomplish, on a high level had to include those ingredients. I was, to no surprise today, I guess, I was never 6'6". I didn't shrink down to 6'1". So I was never the tallest, the fastest, the most athletic, the born to be superstar guy. So my advantages were always going to be fighting harder than you, working harder than you, being in greater shape than you, being more mentally tuned in to the game plan, the X's and O's, like all of these other things that would even the playing field for me because they actually were more talented and more skilled than I. So I think just as a young kid, like playing organized basketball, I never had the physical advantages, so the mental thing was my thing, and got a pretty big head, bro. I'm from the country, so this is real solid noggin up here. It's a lot of space, and I try to use it.
It feels as though your career, 18 years, was a blur as well. To a lot of us here in LA, we just have this montage of moment after moment. We saw it moments earlier on that video. I'm curious around Phil Jackson, because he said about you that you were the spokesman for the Lakers regarding leadership. I'm curious why, and did you even agree with him when he said that? And if so, when did you feel that? Because with the alpha personalities in that locker room, within that organization, the walls and the rafters of that arena, I got to imagine feeling as though you're the leader of that team might feel a little bit big for somebody who at 16 wasn't even playing in the state championship.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I always got that title, honestly. Like, it just kind of, like I said, even, the story I told about, being at Arkansas Little Rock, or just teams that I've been on, it kind of, without overtly trying to say that this is the role that I want to play, I want to be the leader, I want to be the captain, I want to be, it's almost like the group decides that that's what I should be. And I've always been willing to do whatever the team or the group needs in order for us to be successful. So, okay, since he doesn't want to talk to the media after losses, and since he doesn't want to do this, and I'll do it, whatever. Like, because we still need to, as a group, still present ourselves a certain way. Somebody needs to speak to the fact that we did play great, we didn't play great. Not allowing, trying to control the narrative and the messaging about our team and our group, and not letting the media define what's going on or who we are or whatever. So I think, like, it didn't feel big, it felt natural, because I think that for me it's always about just like the game, and I think that my teammates always, like, I wasn't controlling those guys and I play with the smartest, greatest basketball players to ever play. Like, they didn't need me to tell them what to do. But I think they allowed me to lead them because they always knew. And I was talking to to Mary Beth and a short minute ago about, like, the game of basketball was always what I was most committed to, my love for it, right? And I think that my teammates always knew that when I was telling them something or getting on them. Like, I was in Atlanta last night doing NBA TV, and they film inside the NBA for TNT in the next studio over. So in between commercial breaks and halftime and all of that, Shaq and I get to catch up in the back. So even last night, he's telling all of these amazing stories about the things that I used to say to him when he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do, especially in certain cities.
Copy that.
And I just think that they were willing to receive the message because they knew that there were no ulterior motives or any other reasons why I was saying what I was saying, other than, like, that's what we're supposed to be doing if it's about winning the game. I'm not saying that because it's going to make me look better. I'm not saying that or asking you to do that because I'm going to get paid more. Your check is way bigger than mine. I'm just saying that because that's what we're supposed to be doing if we're about winning. And I just think they always kind of understood that. And every team that I've ever played on, I think that's been the most consistent part of who I am as a basketball player. So then when I ask more of my teammates, well, they know that I'm not asking anything of them that I haven't been willing to do or already done myself.
There's moments in sports we just remember where we are when certain things happen.
Yeah.
I know you get asked about that all the time. I want to know, because there were 3 timeouts before that play. So does the play change? Like, is Kobe going to get it? Are you always going to get it? What happens to set up what might be one of the greatest moments in your career, let alone sports in general?
Well, not breaking news. I'm never supposed to get it when Kobe and Shaq are on the floor.
3 timeouts. Maybe they change it up.
That is it's never supposed to go to me in those situations. The 3 timeouts. Yeah, it was crazy, right? So Duncan makes the shot. That's probably the best defense that Shaq has ever played in his life. And Duncan still makes the shot. So that's discouraging, right? And so we go, first timeout, we go out. I think the Spurs call a timeout. We go back out. Then Phil calls a timeout. So, and the whole time, we're stunned. First of all, it was probably it might be one of the lowest scoring games in NBA playoff history. I think the final score was 73-72. At one point, I think we were ahead 71-57.
That's a lot.
So in a low-scoring game, for them to come back and then Duncan makes the shot so we're stunned that we're even in a position where now we're behind in a game that we were in full control of at one point. So during the timeouts, I'm stunned, but at the same time, I'm not defeated. And and this is how life works, right? There are certain things in life that happen and we don't realize what is tied to or connected to that it's going to be useful for later. So when I was in college, we played, this was my junior year, maybe senior. We played at Mississippi State in Starkville, SEC school against a little Sun Belt school from Little Rock, right? So we go on the road. This is the year Mississippi State ended up going to the Final Four that year. And we're going toe-to-toe, back and forth. Game is tied. 6 or 7 seconds left. I go to the hole, go up, boom, they block it out of bounds. 4 seconds left. I get it back. I go to the hole again, boom, they block it out of bounds. So now we're taking the ball out of bounds on the baseline with 0.2 seconds left in the game. and the game is tied.
Get your
Obviously,
elbow.
I had no idea that almost 10 years later, I would be in a game where my team is down with 0.4 seconds left. So for me, I was not sitting there during these 3 timeouts thinking we have no shot to win this game, because I had been in this situation before where we won a game with 0.2 seconds left. I had no idea that that was going to take place, but it did. So in that moment, like I said, I'm never the first, second, or third option, actually, because you had Shaq, you had Kobe, you had Karl Malone, 3 of the greatest players to ever play. It's for them. So Shaq spins around for a lob to the front of the rim. That's not open. Kobe goes towards half court, and Robert Horry, who obviously had played with us for many years before that, he knows wherever Kobe is, somebody has to go to him, because he could mess around and catch it at half court and still make the shot. So Robert takes off to go double team Kobe, and it literally just left a vacuum right in front of me, wide open. And if you see the clip, I'm just standing there. I'm like, well, it's not coming to me. So, Shaq went that way, Kobe went that way. All these guys are scrambling around, and I'm just standing there. And then it was like literally a bowling alley, just vacuum of space that's right there. Well, I might as well just go right there. It's open. So I take off, and Gary Payton's taking the ball out of bounds. And a lot of dudes, I'm telling you, like, when you watch sports, like, a lot of times when they get a 5-second count or like something ridiculous happens and they didn't get it in bounds, it's because they had predetermined who they were supposed to be throwing it to. And in a lot of those situations, when you play with Kobe, you play with Shaq, you be like, those guys are like promised to kill you, essentially, if they don't get the ball in those situations. That's what they get paid to do. That's why they are the greatest of all time. So it takes a lot of courage to not try to still force it to Shaq or still somehow try to squeeze it to Kobe or Karl Malone and throw the ball to Derek Fisher. So Gary trusts me enough to still make the pass. And at that point, there was not a lot for me to think about other than I knew I had to turn, catch, and release all in one motion. I knew it couldn't be 3 different motions because I wouldn't have enough time to get it off.
That was a beautiful moment. We've talked about being raised by a village.
Yep.
Talked about being 16 and looking yourself in the mirror. Talked about that moment where you learned about what the NBA was and how there was a word you never heard of when they talked about, do you want to go to the show? Clearly, your 18 years, huge moments. What do you know for sure?
That's the end of the question right there? That was nice. That was a good setup, Yogi. I was waiting for the rest, too, like.
That's it, bro. That's it. What do you know for sure?
That I'm imperfect, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? That, like, it's okay that I've never, that I'm not these things, or that everything hasn't gone right, that my marriage didn't work out, like all of the things that didn't, like, it's okay, actually. And I can still feel good about who I am. Like, that's hard. And I've had to work at that and accept the fact that it is okay for those things to have happened, but that doesn't diminish who you are, right? It doesn't mean that you're not good enough or worthy enough or that you can't be appreciated or loved or valued because you are imperfect. And so, for me, at least personally, becoming more accepting of that has been a journey. And so I know that for sure, and that's not going to change. because and now a new coaching opportunity. It's not going to go perfectly. In 3 years, 3 years ago, when Luke Walton got hired by the Lakers, never could have imagined he'd be coaching in Sacramento now. But that's okay, because there's whatever his life journey is, the good things and bad things that have to happen in his life to lead to the places where he's supposed to be, where he's destined to be. You have to go through the imperfections. And I'm just at a place where I'm okay with that I can make a mistake, that I cannot do something that everybody else may approve of, but that I know that I'm making my best effort, that I know I'm living in my space to the best of my ability, and that's the only part that I can control. I can't control your perception, anybody else's feelings about me. And I can drop that now and leave it where it is and just focus on the things that I can control, and that's it. That's all I know.
So in thinking about your basketball career, what's one lesson in basketball that you learned that you carry through in your life?
I don't know if there's anything in life that can be accomplished that is truly fulfilling by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not in the sense of like, you got to have a man or you got to have a woman, like not that by yourself. I'm talking about being a part of something and others and something bigger than just you. I just don't know if that exists, where you truly, in the deepest parts of who you are, feel the greatest sense of fulfillment and gratified, and that there was a purpose and you were impactful by yourself. And to me, that's the greatest thing about sports, even the individual sport. You know, tennis, golf, whatever, NASCAR. You know how many people are around the driver, around the tennis player, the golfer? Like, you cannot do it by yourself. And a lot of us, you know, we put that pressure on ourselves thinking that it's us and we got to do it. And it's all if I don't do it, it's not. And sometimes if we just ask for a little bit of support or help, let somebody know that, look, you're better at this than me. Let's work together and do something really special, instead of each of us burning ourselves out trying to get to the same spot. Well, shit, let's just row in the same direction and get there, expend a little bit less energy, and then we have some energy left to do some work, really special things. And so for me, that's what always, it's never been just about me. And I think that's what basketball has really taught me, that life is a team sport.
Derek, we've all seen you make huge shots. I think we all got to see a glimpse of you that no one has really seen tonight. Thank you for the time. Thank you all.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.